Hi, welcome to our online lesson for inequalities. One thing that you might want to do right now is push pause and get yourself ready. So get a piece of paper, something to write with. We're going to use those word parts to understand the word. So equality is something that's equal, and inequality is something that is not equal. These are our inequality signs. We have the less than sign. When we read this like a sentence, we want it to read and make sense. So maybe something is less than 10. So we've got this sign. This is called less than or equal. If you notice, it has combined the less than sign with an equal sign and put them together. So it makes a lot of sense when you look at the symbol. So this means something is less than, or it can also be equal to something. So this would be that maybe something is less than or equal to 10. So it could be 10, but it could also be less. Over here we have the greater than sign. Something is greater than 30. And over here we have greater than or equal to. Something is greater than or it's equal to 30. That means it's going to be bigger than 30, but it can also be equal to 30. It can't be less, but it can be greater or equal. We're going to practice solving some inequalities. And what's different about inequalities from equations is that there's not always just one right answer. There might be a lot of correct answers. So we're going to practice these together to show how we can solve for the solutions of an inequality. So the first thing that we're going to do is you need to figure out what the inequality is saying. So in this case, we have x is less than 50. So that means x could be a lot of different things, and we're going to brainstorm a few things that x can be. We're also going to talk about things that x cannot be as a solution. So one solution to this would be a number that I come up with that I know is less than 50. So I'm going to say x equals 10. Now, to be sure, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to plug in 10. Is 10 less than 50? Yes. So I know that that is a solution that works, and I'm feeling really good about that math. Let's try another one. So if I say x equals 49, I can come up here, plug it in. Is 49 less than 50? Yes, it is. So I know that's a solution. Okay. X is less than 50. So I'm going to try x equals 50 and see what I notice. So if I put 50 up here, is 50 less than 50? This one does not work. 50 equals 50, but that doesn't have an equal sign or an option to be equal. So 50 does not work as a solution, and I would take that out of my list. Other numbers that would not work would be a number that's higher than 50, like 51. 51 is not less than 50. So anything over 50 wouldn't work. One last one that you could think of, it could be something small. It could even be something less than 0. So x equals negative 100. Negative 100 is less than 50, so I know that that's a solution that works. So the next category that I wanted to talk about was when something is less than or equal to something. This says x is less than or equal to 50. That means all of the solutions that I came up with for being less than 50 can work because we see this less than sign. So we could use a 10. 10 is less than or equal to 50. 49 is less than or equal to 50. And negative 100 is less than or equal to 50. There's one more solution that we can add to this column in addition to everything that worked for less than 50. And that's what this little symbol means. Less than or equal to 50. So over here, we can have x equals 50 because of this little line in my inequality. So we can still have lower numbers like 10. We can have x equals 49. We can have x equals negative 100. We could keep going on and on and on about all these things that are less than 50, but on this side of my whiteboard, we can also have x equal 50 because this says x can also equal 50 exactly. Our next practice is we're going to do a practice where the letter is on the other side of the inequality, just so that we get used to having things written in different ways. So this is 2/3 is less than Q. I also like to kind of read it backwards just for my brain. I'm going to say Q has to be greater than 2/3. So if I'm coming up with Q's that work, I need something that is bigger than 2/3. So I could have 1 whole. let's see, I could have 50. That's way bigger than 2/3. I could have a number like 7/8. Okay, what cannot go here is anything that's less than 2/3. So I can't have a small number like a half. I can't have a 0. I can't have anything negative. Okay, I also cannot have 2/3 because since Q has to be bigger than 2/3, I can't have exactly equal to 2/3. Now, over here, it's the same thing. We can have all of the options we came up with that are greater than 2/3. We can have Q equals 1/2. We can have it equal 50. We can have Q equals 7/8. But because we have this symbol where we also have this equal sign, that means Q is greater than or equal to 2/3. The other one we can add to this list over here is 2/3. Because of this little line here underneath my inequality, we can also equal 2/3 exactly. This next practice inequality that we're going to do has a couple things going for it. We have an expression on this side where we've got some mathematical concepts happening. We have 2 times e minus 3. And then over here, we have 18. So we want 18 to be bigger than 2 times e minus 3. And what we have right now are 3 options of what e might be. And we want to figure out if any of these options work. We might find one that works, we might find 2, all 3, or maybe none of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some substitution. We're going to solve this inequality and see if it's true or not. So I'm going to copy down everything I see. 18 greater than 2e, and they're stuck together, so I know that means multiply, and we want to try out a 10 minus 3. Now, if I follow the correct order of operations, we have to do 2 times 10 first. 2 times 10 is 20. 20 minus 3 is 17, and that 18 is greater than 17. This is true, so it works. So my answer would be yes over here. Yes, e equals 10 could be a solution. E equals 15, so let's try the same thing again. 18 is greater than 2 times 15 minus 3. Okay, so 2 times 15 gets me to 30. 30 minus 3 is 27. I'm going to bring down my 18 and greater sign. So is 18 greater than 27? Absolutely not. So this is not a solution. No, e cannot equal 15 because 27 was much too big to be less than that 18 that I was hoping for. The last one we're going to try is e equals 20. Now some of you are already using your number sense to tell me whether you think this is going to work. But let's try it by substituting. 18 is greater than 2 times e, and we're going to put in a 20 minus 3. Okay. We're going to do a 2 times 20, which is 40. 40 minus 3 is 37. 18 is greater than 37. No, it is not. So this one does not work. And some of you knew that because you already knew that e equals 15 was too high. So you knew that e equals 20 was also going to be too high. So you can sometimes use your number sense. So for this problem, the only solution from our options that worked was e equals 10, made the inequality true. For this inequality, we have r divided by 2 plus 1 needs to be greater than or equal to 7. So we're going to try r equals 14 first. We're going to substitute this in and solve. So if r is 14, 14 divided by 2 plus 1, and we want it to be greater than or equal to 7. So let's see what happens. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. And I'm going to copy down my symbol greater than or equal to 7. Is 8 greater than or equal to 7? 8 is greater than, so that would work. My answer would be yes. Next, we're going to try r equals 12. So I'm going to substitute 12 and then divide by 2 plus 1 greater than or equal to 7. Okay, 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. And greater than or equal to 7. So is 7 greater than or equal to 7? Well, 7 is not greater than 7, but 7 is equal to 7. And so this would work because we had the option of being equal as well. So far we found 2 different solutions that both work. Let's try r equals 10. So I'm going to do 10 divided by 2 plus 1 is greater than or equal to 7. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. is 6 greater than or equal to 7? 6 is not greater than 7. 6 is not equal to 7. So that solution did not work. So r equals 10 would not work in this inequality. So there you have some inequalities practice. Take a look at some of the other resources that I shared with you if you need some more practice, or you're ready to head and do your must-do assignment for today. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.